Couldn't agree more.
Exactly. I mean, you know, like Black Dragons. Black Dragons.
So I was sat here and I was thinking, so in the time between the previous game finishing and this game starting, there has been the biggest thunderstorm I can remember seeing outside of my window. So I've just been locked in on lightning tracking websites, making sure that I'm not about to get hit offline. And I was like, something's happened. Like it's broken the connection between Lynx and I. We need to fix this. Nah, you just mute. That's the stream. What's here? Hey, what's up? Final game of the day. Furia versus Black Dragons.
You want the summary? You want the TLDR? Literally, it's just like, hey, Black Dragons were good last stage. Wouldn't it be great to see some of that?
Oh wait, they're against Furia.
Yeah, that was kind of the last part I threw on at the beginning there.
Well, we've certainly saved the best till last tonight, or at least what could be another good game.
I hope
don't know
so.
that it'll be
I'd
as
like it to
close
be.
as NIP and Liquid, but I still think there is potential for this to be a good one. I have always had Black Dragons down, regardless of who's on the team, but as an org, as a team that is capable of upsets. They're that team that you can't count out throughout any portion of a stage. Okay? They've not had the best start. Let's be honest. They're sat on 0 points. They've lost against NIP. They've lost against Loud. Here is a chance for them to redeem themselves. And we know that Furia, look, they're not perfect. There's usually a rock in the road every single stage for this team. It just depends on whether Black Dragons are going to be that rock here and now today. We head for our final game to Lair, which is a loved map throughout the world right now, it seems, because we can't get through a single playday without seeing it. And I don't mind that. I still feel like there's a heck of a lot left to understand about Lair.
Agreed.
Something that always makes me excited and keeps me entertained and eyes glued on the screen is when I see Aurora being brought.
Okay, well, I think sadly we're not really going to see much impact of the Aurora. Well, okay, well, hold on. Black Dragons are fighting back very nicely as the angles still seem to survive, at least when it's Ask and Machina involved. Clips Herds on the left side. Finds another as KZ takes the 1v1. Round is taken away by Furia and immediately stolen back by Black Dragons. Ask is just one of those players. I don't know what it is, but when he's wearing a Black Dragons jersey, the work he performs, there is nothing like it at times. First round going the way of BD, and it is all thanks to Ask.
We've seen some slow rounds tonight. That was not a slow round.
Opposite of a slow round.
Very quickly. Yeah, very much so. That was actually quite a speedy round. There's a lot happened in quite a short period of time. Opening kill coming in at the 2-minute mark and everything being done, what, a minute after? Furia moving at some serious pace and kind of moving straight toward their demise. Kalipox, JV, Herds, they all get a kill, but it pales into insignificance when Ask is able to pick up a 4K. Well, maybe that's just a statement round from Furia. Let them know that we're here, play a little bit quickly, and then they can revert into something a little bit more proper.
Yeah.
I at least hope so.
Yeah, Furia, you know. Very famous for always playing proper. Quickly textbook Siege.
Well, I mean, you can play... Goodness me. Play it properly. Not an easy thing to say.
Especially when there's lightning striking everywhere.
Listen, don't even start. I don't know what it is about lightning. I think it's like the sort of caveman in me is like really scared by it, but also really fascinated by it.
I think it's a very human experience, though. I feel like that's everybody's relationship to lightning. Like, I feel the same way.
It's so like Mother Nature. Like, just imagine you're not sat in front of a screen. Imagine you sat in a cave 3,000 years ago and that's going on outside. Like, that must blow your mind.
Like,
it still blows my mind now.
You look outside and you're like, that's God, right? Like, that's got to be like that's like mythological. Like, that's some extra, like, you know, supernatural force that is causing literal fire to rain down from the sky. Like, that's how I feel when I see Tachanka effectively using his Shumika canisters in the late round, just sending these little beams of fire down. Especially actually,
NJR's just up there.
Well, honestly, this side in particular, we were talking about last night about how Tachankas, or really good Tachankas on this site, have got a rhythm where basically you deny the default plant that immediately banks shots off the door into that hallway Ask is looking at right now. to basically not only force the planner off, but damage them as they fall back. So I'm interested to see if we see Hornet do that little 1-2 combo, but we'll have to see if Nate even decides to put the diffuser down in that area.
I was going to say, Furia have got a little bit of work to do before we get to that point. They haven't brought a typical hard breacher, and they've only got 2 tin openers. So again, going for a very bare bones approach right now and trying to squeeze every last drop out of their util. Speaking of, Shumika launcher, Hornet, he's got 18 of the things to start firing around. With a minute 25 left, that's a lot of area denial. Nade isn't really going to be able to effectively get through there. That can be just drip fed for the entire round, and he knows it. Full rotation coming out now. Herd's still looking for a little bit of an in. We do have KZ below, so a good chance for some skeleton key action vertically. But I worry so much about there only being 1 tin opener right now.
Ooh, I'm worrying too about KZ losing almost all his HP. These vertical angles can be so tricky, whether it's a Deimos, a Buck, anybody trying to put pressure from below. Navigating the destruction while also protecting your own life, watching your flank, applying the pressure in turn. Can always be difficult. The Furia have just made so little progress on this clear. Something breaks. Miracle does get one. Herds with a miracle frag onto Ask. All the kills are just going to fly their way. I guess it doesn't really matter if Furia don't exactly have a clear way into the site. They'll make their own luck. It's a flawless to follow up. There's very clearly a 2-0 start in here for Furia, even if how the rounds have played out have been a little strange.
It's amazing what this team is capable of doing when they, on the face of it, have so little and can still get so much out of it. Not a lot of teams will be able to pull that off with only a couple of tin openers. But Furia are that team. Black Dragons stunned to the mid floor now.
Need to locate and defuse bombs.
Is this one of our favorite sites? It can't be far off because we always seem to have a really good time when it's on.
You know, not... You said that and I was like, no, like, of course not. Not as in, like, it was not a least favorite.
No,
but
it's a sleeper, though. I don't think we realize it.
Honestly, I agree. It is kind of a sleeper. We do talk about it a lot. I find it really interesting, and it's kind of like this own personal narrative you and I have of just, like, who's going to find the way through? Like, who's going to find the way to deal with this setup? In, like, a convincing fashion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we always talk about it whenever we watch Lair, and it always remains a very relevant point. I mean, we saw, I think, probably the best clear of it we've seen from Shopify on Friday, which I know we've talked about yesterday kind of being a very kind of midday of the NAL overall, but that clear from Shopify on this site, the final round of the game between, well, for Shopify on Lair, really good clear of this vertical hold. A lot of other teams still struggling to pick up the pieces.
Last time we saw Furia do it, they were playing against Lost last week. They brought a very different lineup to what they've got now. They didn't even have a shield, to be fair, but they did bring the Sense and the Capital. Neither of those two things have been brought. Oh, sorry, the Capital has been brought, but the Sense hasn't. They also brought the Thermite last time, and it's an Ace instead. So it will be a different take regardless of that, just based on the fact it's different ops, but I do worry for Herds right now. Sprints past? Like, you've got to assume someone's there.
Let's be a little careful. It's a, you know, it's a bunks briefing defense. It's not uncommon to see people holding the top floor. Definitely think skipping a little bit of steps there from Furia. Which, if there's ever a team that sometimes plays fast and loose with the rules, it's been this one. They'll apply the rest of their attention to Miracle and Machina right in front. Nade losing a lot of HP to that C4, but still holding on quite nicely. Also give information to somebody just walking up the single hallway. Okay, Machina, I think, getting a little careless. A lot of people in the lobby disrespecting positions, I think. As now, because of what's transpired, we can pinch Miracle inside, right inside of this defense. Casey just walks in, finishes off one and Miracle. Nade is only downed in the process. I think everyone's got to take a chill pill for a second, because I think we're all thinking that we are the best and the rules don't apply to us. Hornet shut down on that flank. Ask have another 4 kills in him. There's the first. Furia haven't fully dropped down to the bottom floor yet, so he'll move up and instead try to fight the flank. Don't think the attack is all that cognizant, and right as I say that, JV92 thinks to check. Furia with 2 in a row.
You know, you watch rounds like that and you kind of think, does it really matter what Furia bring? As long as they bring something that they're all going to get behind, I don't think it matters what they bring as much as it does for other teams, just because of the level that they operate at. On the day, best team in the world. Not to say they are performing like the best team in the world right now. They're 1 round down. But they do have a habit of pulling a rabbit out of the hat, so to speak. Caden and Monty coming through in our round 4 bans. Black Dragons choosing now for the timeout. Very popular time for timeouts if you are a new watcher or a watcher that has started watching again after some time of Siege. With the introduction of mid-phase bans, teams do tend to use that banning time as like a little bit of a preparation for a conversation, and then will take their time out afterwards to get the coach in and to sort of finish off that discussion and just get the benefit of an extra 20, 30 seconds between themselves. Obviously, the coach can still only talk for 45, but it does give the team just a little bit more time to get their own heads together prior to getting into that tactical timeout. And Black Dragons are going to use theirs right now. They want to nip this in the bud, and they want to nip it in the bud early. They can't afford to go rounds down here. Now, let's be honest, they haven't got the greatest record inside of SAL so far. They're at 30% attack and a 30% defense. So, who knows which side they're going to be better on by the end of the stage. But at the minute, neither is looking too hot. And given that it's Lair, you want to be taking advantage of these defending rounds, because you better believe that Furia will. Last week, they won 3 defensive rounds in a row against Lost, which was good enough for the map. That was, of course, after picking up 4 rounds on the attack. And there is still plenty of time for them to meet that quota again.
I think especially since basically every single one of these rounds has transpired at Furia's discretion. And then it's incumbent upon how Black Dragons respond. Ask obviously getting that 4K in round 1, but the pacing was entirely set by the attack. I think in the second round, little bit less so, and yet once things get going, Furia just somehow managed complete control of the chaos. And then same thing, once the bulk of the push starts in round 3, all the kills seem to fly Furia's way. So maybe I guess it's less command of the pace, and more so just hitting the shots, and I think that is evidenced by the fact that most of the kills came in 1 round on the side of Black Dragons, and by 1 guy on the side of Black Dragons. Now's the time to try and recover. Look to R6 room for their first post-timeout defense. The players scattered all over the map. The setup, by and large, is the same. Actually, I think it's the same. I think Ask and Miracle have just switched operators. That's about it. But honestly, the more important thing for me, Furia dropping off that Monty. Gonna play a little bit more flexible with things. The herd's still starting out over by Ops.
Yeah, aside from the Monty ban, there's not much that's forced to change here in Furia's hand. Still going to be rocking with just the 2 tin openers, so still leaving themselves vulnerable. Surprised to not see Black Dragons read into that a little bit more, if I'm honest with you, and try and play some denial around that. But I think they're just sort of resigning themselves to the fact that it will, you know, those 2 tin openers will get used, and they will just have to deal with the consequence of that. Herds, very free to move inside of Ops right now. Not worried about any pressure from below. It feels like Furia know that they've got Black Dragons roughly where they want them. But with the Monty being such a crucial part of that new bridge push last time, I do worry where that's going to come from here and now. JV, has he found a gap?
Knowing Furia, they're the experts of gap spotting at this point. It seems like that they might. 2 shotguns close around the corner, yet if either walks in front of JV92's crosshairs, that should be done. There's one. Fortunately, JV feeds himself to one of the very players we thought he might find. Ask might be spotted, but still holding this position alongside Miracle getting active with that Scorpion. Things going just fine for the moment. The initial onslaught from Furia repelled. 1 more player sitting inside a bathroom. It's Felipox sitting close by. Flash around the corner. But even taking that fight blind, I would still wager at 50-50, maybe even favoring Ask. Time has gone for it. Another swing Great anticipation by Felipox. Pre-fire lands in time, but how will they find this way in? Herd's waiting so long, gets Hornet, and that's the opportunity they needed. Immediately he capitalizes, pushes in deep, takes full control of A and looks to net the next on B, and all line up for Herds. The man who refined lurking to a science paints a beautiful picture in round 4.
On the face of what Herds has done in that round, you look at it and it is so simple. Got himself into Ops Room, used his utility, hopped in the drone, and then waited for the opportune moment. But you try and get timing like that. It is incredible how consistently Herds manages to pull that sort of timing off. Got Felipox JV. Those guys are doing the hard work. They're face-checking shotguns over on the other side of the map. And Herds just swoops in with the Hollywood moment and picks up 3. And everyone's like, he's the hero! And but you've had Felipox literally tank a shotgun to win the round so that he can ensure that the kill's there. Like, it's unbelievable. Furia, 3-1 up right now on Lair. Black Dragons have used their timeout and it was good for nothing. The only round that Black Dragons have been successful with so far on this map is the basement, which is where we find ourselves here in round number 5. It was off the back of very much a throwaway round from Furia, and one that I highly doubt we will see repeated.
I don't think so either. The only time that Black Dragons got a victory was this site. It required a 4K from Ask, and around that, Furia started off in the lead, continued to do so until Furia just let things slip a little, give a couple 1v1s to Ask, and then the advantage shifted. There's always this great moment, Ollie. You see a guy pick a shield, and you see him alt walk up to the window, and you just know he's hopping through it. Not even that the rush is going to happen, but you just know that the moment he walks up, he's waiting for the call to hop through, begin the clear, try to catch the defense as off guard as they can. Nobody's in his way. They're all that, set up, but obviously nobody's going to fight immediately. But with the Dokey call going through and Nade not hearing anything, he can at least give the call within the first minute that the second floor, by and large, seems clear. First floor, excuse me.
Yeah, I think we've just got Ask sort of lingering, haven't we? But it's a fairly soft roam. Yeah, I think he's just been droned, actually. The boogie drones have started to work through now. The sound coverage that those boogie drones gives is fantastic, not only for attackers, but for defenders as well. So you do have to be really cautious when those are going off, because that is the moment when somebody will more than likely strike. But Furia, they've removed any semblance of pace out of this round whatsoever, and are just trying to take this site apart systematically from above. So far, they're doing a fine job with. Managed to remove some Vulcan canisters. Herds getting rid of the wub. Oh, miracle! Like, oh, I wonder what's through there. The beep has just gone off, and there's pre-fire shots coming through the soft wall. I'm just gonna stick my face in it. Oh
my God!
I'm just gonna stick my face where it doesn't belong as well.
This is just vintage Herds right here. Honestly, I kind of favor him to get this next kill. What, we got one player tucked inside here? They just turned his back? What? Machina fights Herds, then immediately turns around and starts sprinting, exposing his back to the very angle Herds just shot at him from. This is just a day where Furia can do no wrong. KZ just baiting Ask for the rest of his team. 4 rounds in a row for Furia, and I have a feeling that the train is not stopping here.
No, it can't do. Looks like full head loss on the side of Black Dragons. They are neither roaming nor just playing the site. They're finding themselves in a really weird halfway house of giving away a lot of map control through, I don't know, not wanting to challenge Furia on the roam, not feeling like it's worth it, feeling like they can play behind their utility. That's fine. You do you. Play behind your utility. It works. But then they just get antsy in the site. If you're going to play the site, you may as well take your hand off the keyboard. All you need to do is flick the occasional camera, make sure that you're tucked, and then play your part when the moment comes. You don't always need to go looking for these engagements. It's free pickings at the moment for Furia, to be honest with you.
Herds specifically. 8-2
Well,
so far. Well, JV92 also, by the way, 6-2. And I couldn't name you a single JV92 kill this game.
To go. 5 seconds left.
He just got the last kill in the last round.
Attackers are heading out to the
Okay, well,
But it wasn't memorable though, because it was whatever, right?
yeah, that's
I
what I
get
mean.
your point.
That's the
I get
point
your
I'm making.
point.
That's the point I'm
Yeah.
making. It's like, Furia have good performances by and large. Herds have been getting a lot of the highlights, but it's just like, Furia have just been like slowly just like shoving Black Dragons out of the game. Just like, bye. Don't need you.
Special charge. Stay clear.
I was sick earlier this week. For some reason, the last game and this one, my congestion starting to come back is really...
Here we go. Stay back.
Like, I'll start talking, and it's like, what if we stop you?
We got this all
There we
tomorrow
go.
as well. You need to keep
What the-
yourself sharp.
How are they finding these kills? JV92 just repelled up to an open hole, shot Machina in the face, then walked back down.
Was it memorable?
Wait, how did Machina die?
I think Herd's got him.
No, Hertz can't have gotten him, because he's been pushing up here with KZ and Fellafox at the beginning of the round, and very important detail, he had a hot drone in front of him, and did not immediately meet any defenders. Now, that being said, there are two right here. One of them being Rare, and the other, I think, being, yes, the other being Miracle. They're taking a little bit of damage, but Furia is setting up quite nicely for this pinch. On to the remaining players. Could use a little more angles or utility. Honestly, could really use a little more utility. Grim might be nice in this situation. We still have the 5v4.
I think it again comes down to Furia and their operator selection. Like, there are often better things that they can take, but more often than not, it still feels like they get the job done. Miracle looking for a bit of a rat right now. Might have a chance. C4 is ripped there, and Herds is going to hear it. Tries to barrel on through. But immediately taken out there by Ask. Importantly, though, does remove the mute jammer. That might free someone up to get a bit of utility or a drone a little bit further ahead. Black Dragons are actually doing a great job of holding on. If they're able to pick up that kill as well. No, Miracle caught in the cross. How does he get out?
They've just managed to keep Furia at bay, and you have to give Black Dragons credit for that. Not even fully giving up the top floor. They still want to threaten that rotation back. Still keep Furia concerned. Nade has found his way into sight alongside KZ, though. And with the control up top, it all falls! I'll remember this JV92 3K. I'll tell you that much. Might all be forgotten in the following cascade of this game, but Furia are like, wait, they're not giving up top. What if we just flood the site? And everything falls after that. And shout out JV92 joining Herds and what is anything but a close half.
Yeah, quick half, not close. Should be 6-0 if we see Furia play properly in round number 1. Not a great sign, really, for Black Dragons. They thought the defending layer was tricky. Wait until they get onto the attack. Great pivot from Furia, I think it's fair to say. They weren't making as much ground as they perhaps wanted to. But if you think about the area that they controlled on that top floor, they'd got the most important bit. Having people in bridge is not, it's of no consequence to stopping you from getting the plant down. Like, you're going to be able to plant as long as you've got control above, which they had. And I think it was really nice to recognize we've actually ticked that box. We don't need to push this any further. We can instead just drop and clean up kills when people either try and rotate down the stairs or move back through to assist getting the plant down. As soon as our 6th room is taken, the job's done at that point.
Attackers have
And
located
Furia,
a bomb.
one of the better teams at recognizing when they have that winning condition, and instead of overplaying that hand, just understanding that they can throw 4 aces down on the table and get the round done.
10 seconds to insertion.
Do you think,
5 seconds left.
like, in the past
Attackers are
days.
moving to defuse a bomb.
I think we've casted more Tachanka than we have probably in the past year combined.
I know it's difficult, isn't it? Because it has rapidly increased in popularity, but there were teams and there were people that did play it, but I don't know if it was at this level of frequency.
Well, I think it's also, I mean, we've casted a fair bit of Lair, and that's probably one of Tachanka's, like, more played maps. So I think it's also just kind of like happenstance for the games you and I have casted. It really feels like Tachanka has been a very common operator. Like, a lot of bank, a lot of Lair.
Yeah.
And those are his too. Like, I mean, I think that's got to be top 2 Tachanka maps, and I don't even know what number 3 would be.
Well, it's kind of just top 2 Tachanka sites, because it's not like you see it on every site of Lair or Bank.
No, that's true. That's a good point.
You'll only ever see it on top floor Lair and basement Bank. Like, not only ever, but more often than not.
Yeah, if you're gonna bring it on one side,
from those particular sites and find out the frequency.
If only I had that. If I had that kicking about in my head somehow. What the?
Ooh.
Okay.
Speaking of getting kicked in the head.
Giving him a roundhouse kick on the way out. 10 and 2. He heard me. JP92 heard me say I was about to say, he heard me say I can't remember a single JP92 kill, and he's like, I will show you. I wasn't even saying he was doing. I wasn't even saying he was doing a bad job. I literally was commenting him. I was like, hey, he's just chipping away at it. He's just doing consistent. He's letting Herds get all the glory, and he's just putting in the work, and he's like, okay, no, I want the glory.
And why shouldn't he get it? Why not him?
JP92.
It's a very different approach from Black Dragons to get this wall open. Instead of relying on those secondary charges, they're instead trying to utilize the Selma. But Furia know that. You can already hear the Shumika launcher getting sent out there. Not only can you hear the launcher, but you can hear the flames. Makuna kind of caught on the wrong side of things as we start to see them bounce through the doorway. He has a chance to try and double up at the moment with Miracle, but does need to be cautious.
Ooh. I was going to say maybe separated by the rest of his team, but thankfully the other smoke not quite having the impact I think Furia would have liked. Instead, one placed close to stave off the push from Black Dragons. But the time is getting low, and that only favors Furia with all these Shumikas. Utility going in. Fellapok's a great opportunity with his shotgun around the corner. But that engagement has not favored SAS Ops today. Instead, it's everything around it. JV another triple, 2 rounds in a row. He is fuming after what I said and very eager to close out Lair.
I do love it when you get a player that just pops off out of nowhere. Especially when it's someone like JV92 you've come to expect it from. Like,
Yeah, I'm not
you
shocked
know that
by
he's
it.
capable. Like, no one's really shocked. It's just nice to see, isn't it? It's nice to see when people have their day in the sun. And that's certainly one of his. Shaping up for a 7-1. Could be a quick close to the day. And unfortunate, really, for Black Dragons, because regardless of how they've performed this stage, I think we know them to be of better quality than only 1 round on Lair. They are up against Furia, and Furia aren't here to mess around.
Which you'd hope from Furia. Coming into today, there were 3 teams who were without a loss so far in the SAL, now leaving today. There will only be 2 if Furia can just close out this 5-round lead they have. Them and FaZe at the top of the scoreboard going into tomorrow will be the only 2 teams with 9 points. And just assuming Furia can close this out. Another Tachanka, by the way. We're on basement. Probably one of the only other sites we usually see Tachanka on this map. Saw Black Dragons went Tachanka on this site all the way back in round 1. I bring it up, not all the time, but I do bring it up semi-often. I do think Herds on Mira is one of the more underrated scary player op combos.
Just because he's got the Vector?
Yeah, it's just like Vector, super high fire rate. It's clearly a comfort pick for him. He's been playing it for literally 3 years now. Where's this blitz going?
Is Rare just waiting for it to marinate or something? Oh, the drone gets shot out in front of him. Hornet trying to provide the pressure. This is not a good play for the blitz, by the way.
Yeah, I really don't like
I
this.
don't think this ends well.
Okay, we do at least have an attacker, I think, coming in to join on the opposite side, but Ask just gives the 1v1, and now the Blitz is back to being alone. This is 3 1v1s, by the way. Okay, at least Hornet joins. KZ shoots over the top of the Blitz, kills Hornet. Now the Blitz is dead. Well, this has not been a game from Black Dragons. We're just all getting 3Ks at this point. Everyone wants a piece of the action. How about Miracle coming in fresh off the boat from Europe? We think he's got a 1v5 in him? I just don't know that's happening. I mean...
Yeah, what do you say at this point? Smoked out. You can have as many adrenal stims as you like. You got a minute 20 to find 4 kills. Onto 4 of the hottest players in Siege. I don't want to be a hater, but I don't think it's happening. C4 ripped. KZ dropping the GG. And the reason KZ's dead is because Herds took him out. Miracle will find 2.
No.
Hey, stranger things have happened.
I know. That's why I'm saying no. Okay. There we go. All right. We are all good. No need to panic. No cause for concern. Furia closed things out at just the margin we thought they would. 7-1 remaining. Our only other flawless team alongside FaZe going into tomorrow.